Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, November 2, 2023, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll have a reverse aging health call tomorrow night, Friday, at around 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to talk about alleviation of pain, anxiety, stress, inflammation, cardiovascular, kidneys, you name it. When we are always attached to a particular outcome having to happen, something has to happen, right? This happens, I'll be happy. We become so rigid that we cannot relax into the happiness when it arrives. Sometimes it seems impossible to make any decision at all in this life. We hit the super jackpot of challenging decisions and feel forced to make a major life choice where there is no evident win-win scenario. Our soulmate, life partner, is drowning in a sea of circling hungry sharks. The best outcome might be what we believe is best for others. Or another time, maybe only what's in the best interest for ourselves. Sometimes we must choose that safer route, what has been comfortable or known to us in the past, while other times it's better to take that dangerous leap of faith into the unknown. That's where you say, you really don't know what's going to happen, but you're going to take a shot at it. What helps us to find the most enlightened decision when confronted with a real-life challenging scenario is noticing where the choice is coming from. Is it coming from love and trust or fear and tension? Now, the outcome we manifest will be based on the springboard we jump from. If we dive into the water out of pure fear, the sharks will smell that and eat us alive. If we dive in with passion, love, and trust, two of us might just escape alive. To find out if our choice is love-based or fear-based, pay close attention to your chest. Notice how the energy around your heart responds when you think about the choice. Does it expand in love or contract in fear? Be aware of how grounded you are in this feeling and how it touches you emotionally as well. In this life, there is always a choice to be made. Even if we freeze and don't make any decision at all, this still ends up becoming a choice, and we must surrender to our default destiny, letting this universe decide what's best for us. This freeze point in decision-making is one of the most powerful transformational places we can arrive at. It is the point where pure choiceless awareness is found. It is the easiest place where we can create a breakthrough into a higher state of consciousness. When all thought processes come to a total stop, this is the moment when the radical, spiritually liberating experience of pure choiceless awareness comes into play. In this place, there is no separate chooser, no ego, or limited being in need of anything. There is simply a relaxation into the spiritual destiny that the soul is already committed to. The highest states of consciousness are found in the most random and ordinary circumstances. An enlightening experience can show up in a simple urge to move to a new city, get a new job, or change to a new relationship. It often happens when the mind becomes completely frozen and it cannot decide what the right decision will create the most happiness, success, and freedom. Ultimately, for the soul, it doesn't matter if your ego gets what it wants or not. The soul is more interested in where you are making each choice from. The choice is always coming from either state, a state of love or fear. Notice what experience you really are trying to have in this life anyway. If you would wave a magic wand, right? If you could wave a magic wand, what would you honestly want your great destiny in this life to be? If you want spiritual freedom, you could choose to stay in the same house, at the same job, or with the same relationship that you've been in for years. As long as you're seeing what a sacred teacher this situation is, you'll be able to love where you are, feel truly free there. However, if you want financial freedom and great material success, you may want to do something radically different and move to that new town with the big job that has no financial ceiling to it. There really are no right or wrong paths to take in this life. There are only choices we make and how we truly feel inside about them. The game of this life, the game of life, is a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astounding accuracy. Lawrence Scobleshin. It's good to know that every curse we perceive in this life is deep eternal love in disguise. It can happen that we incur so much intense emotion and pressure around a decision that we tend to hesitate, procrastinate, or distract ourselves with doing meaningless, time-consuming tasks instead. When the mind is wrapped up in fear, we end up trying to avoid feeling the fear by doing things which are somewhat enjoyable and yet deeply mind-altering. When the mind is going or doing a crazy number on you, the best thing to do is to go for a walk, have some tea with a friend, relax with a good book, and let the whole process go. This approach is a conscious technique for trusting deeper in this universe. And it will show you what the best choice is when the timing is right. It may seem like you're avoiding making the decision, yet truly you're diving deeper into the trusting process. This conscious trusting method is powerful and effective as long as it doesn't turn into a crazy excuse for entertaining your addictions and avoid taking full responsibility for your life. The mind, we all know, is a trickster and will do anything to avoid an experience it doesn't want to have. If this sounds like you, you must watch your mind extra closely. Commit to only doing the most inspired actions that make your heart sing every minute of the day. Eventually, you'll start feeling really inspired. and can relax enough inside to see clarity around which decision to make. Best of all, you'll have the deepest sleep when the day is over. Enlightened choices are naturally born from how we approach the circumstances we're already in. We may first need to discover that we have to stop trying to alter the outer world so that our inner world feels better. Or we may need to alter our outer world to give us access to the things we are really yearning for. However we approach this world, the secret is to remain in contact with what we truly want. Breathe through the challenging feeling we're facing and relax into what cannot relax into on the inside. This practice opens the door to enter into that all-expansive state of pure choiceless awareness, which is the breeding grounds for the most enlightened perspective on reality. Once we are living in an enlightened perspective, which means that you have moved into the now, and you are mainly in the now, focused on the breath and the space between heartbeats. You're no longer in the head, the ego mind, because in the now, the ego mind does not exist. The more enlightened decisions we can make, the more this level of consciousness develops, and the more amazing things that spontaneously manifest into our lives. It's good to understand here that what essentially makes one's perspective enlightened is that the mind is at ease. We are turned into our spiritual essence instead of the circus of thoughts circulating in our head. From this place, every person and situation we encounter is felt through the heart and not just judged and analyzed through the head. We feel everyone for the soul and pure conscious spirit they truly are. Imagine feeling everyone for the soul and pure conscious spirit they truly are. We see live as completely fresh, new and sacred in all its divine ways. Life. When the mind gets in the habit of seeing everyone and everything as sacred, there is a deep recognition of what's good inside ourselves, and perpetual stream of gratitude and enlightened choices seem to naturally flow from every thought we have. By surrendering to the idea that everything is sacred, we realize we cannot make a mistake on this spiritual journey through life. We know that this universe is ultimately running the greatest show on earth. We begin to honor this truth, feeling more relaxed about our future. And this helps the mind to see and feel into things more clearly. In deep relaxation, we can feel aligned with the highest outcome this universe already has in store for our greatest possible future. We stop being afraid and worried about what will occur tomorrow, and are naturally spontaneous, quick to love, and feeling on purpose and creative. We are truly living in the now, every moment of our lives. This is a deeply surrendering space to live in. And when we can choose it each day, we become capable of designing our destiny confidently, choosing a life we would truly love to have. When we cannot trust the experience of surrender, we remain stuck in the mind, trying to control the negative or positive outcomes and how they might manifest. The deep level of surrender is the most important quality needed for our enlightened decision-making skill set. The deeper we can surrender, the more confidence we can collect within ourselves and our ability to truly enjoy whatever we are at in our life. Any type of choice we make from this place can only lead us to creating more love, abundance, and a deeper relaxation into our lives. Please do not worry if you feel lost in your life. We often become lost because the people and society around us are generally, truly lost. So don't worry if you feel lost in your life. Now you understand we often become lost because the people and society around us are generally, truly lost. Most people are not aware of their spiritual nature, consciously living their lives with a sacred, loving purpose. So, of course, they are going to feel lost. People tend to fall into the mind's comfortable habits of unhappy or unhealthy thinking, which then manifests all throughout their lives. As far as survival instincts go in this life, generally we humans tend to go along with what the group decides. If we just get along with others, we won't get cast out and die. So we might end up allowing decisions to be made for us by the whole. If you're someone who tends to fall into this sheep following pattern, do not fret. There is soon coming a new experience of life that is profound and amazing. There is a huge opportunity to make that decision to go deeper into your unique expression. Give a voice to that creativity that wants to give birth inside you. It's not that following a group is wrong. The most important thing is that you feel free, empowered, and happy with whatever decision is being made through you. Just make sure you don't have any regrets on your deathbed. A life lived without regrets is a well-loved life. How many of us have regrets? Wish I would have done this, wish I would have done that, when we go through it. So you could take one baby step towards knowing how to make enlightened decisions by getting to know you better. Take an hour. Write down a list of everything that you want in this life. Include all the areas of life, your relationships, your health, sex, travel, money, work, friends, family, home, spirituality, and love. Be specific. Please make this an exhaustive list where you don't exclude anything that you might want. After you've made your list, circle the top 5 things that make your heart sing the loudest. Then, prioritize these 5 things in the order of which makes you feel the most relaxed, expansive, and rooted within your body. Read out loud these 5 things each morning and evening in the mirror, stating them in the past tense, as if you have already manifested them in your life. Why is it that the majority of us focus our attention on what we don't want. That's the majority. Why is that? Because we're spiritually disconnected. And that's figuratively, not literally. So we don't think about it. We don't feel about it. So you look at the mind, right? It's like a magnifying glass that intensifies and brings closer whatever object is under its penetrating gaze. When you are 100% committed to directing your mind's energy towards one specific thing in your life, no matter what it is, all the manifesting energy in this universe flows in that one direction. There is an enormous gold mine of manifesting power found in directing one's attention in one direction. So, what is that one thing that you want to manifest more than anything else in your life? We all want to be happy. We all want to feel abundant and free and have deep inner peace. Yet, what do we think that we specifically have to do to attain these experiences? Can you deeply relax and love your life only after you're financially free? Bought your dream home, lost 10 kilos, transcended all your fears? Or is it possible to enjoy the sweetness of your life every breath along the way? You don't have to let go of anything, achieve anything special, or work towards reaching any big goal in order to be ridiculously happy. There's only one basic thing that we need to practice. Keep our mind focused on what we want and off of what we don't want. It's really that simple. This is the root of all suffering. What direction you decide to take. It's fascinating to see what miraculous manifestors will appear when we slightly adjust our relationship with our mind. When we are constantly directing our mind's attention to dwelling on the thoughts, feelings, and experiences we want, we become more creative, intuitive, confident. We cannot feel powerless, weak, or a victim to anything in our life when we understand this simple, sweet secret. Whatever we focus on is what we manifest. Why do you think throughout the past, all the attempts to get us to focus on something destructive, conflicting, like a war, and all the propaganda with it, because they're hoping that you will buy into it. By focusing on what it feels like for all of our dreams to come true each day, our list of heart-pumping desires must start manifesting for us. This is the great law of the universe. Like attracts like. When you're at a high frequency of energy, you attract similar high vibrational outcomes. It's staggering how quickly all of our problems, illnesses, fears, and limitations instantly drop away when we stop focusing on them. This doesn't mean you're avoiding them, resisting them, or trying to push negative emotions away forcefully. You just feel everything inside, see the bigger picture, and know all is always in perfect balance. Just like the philosophy found in the 5,000-year-old yin-yang symbol. The speck of light is contained within the dark, and the speck of dark is found within the light. We can always find something positive inside what appears to be negative, and vice versa. It's amazing how enjoyable this life can become when we hold this enlightened perspective in our mind. The enlightened state of bliss is one of the highest experiences a human can have. It is a feeling of being held by this universe, like a baby in a mother's womb, totally free from all worries and concerns, and where the body is fully emotionally grounded in this new moment. There is an exquisite acceptance of every feeling, thought, sensation occurring in the body, as the mind is perpetually saying yes to each breath, heartbeat, feeling, thought that you have. In the enlightened state of bliss, there is no more avoidance of pain or yearning to seek pleasure. The mind is relaxed, absorbed, grounded within the exploration of saying yes to it all. You realize how every moment of your life is an attempt by this universe to pour its great cosmic orgasmic energy through you, which makes it easy to say yes. Every breath you inhale is a sacred gift to cherish. And you fully enjoy this sweet, precious life that you still have. Now, bliss naturally happens through a deep, penetrating relaxation. When you step back from your life and you realize just how amazing this universe is, how benevolent, loving, and caring this universe actually is, your mind, emotions, and body will begin to relax to a much deeper level. And then the bliss state can slowly start to find its way in. The mind's perpetual striving, achieving, defending, and protection programs will suddenly fall away. And you will notice how naturally your day is absorbed in feelings of lightness, gratitude, and freedom. For no reason at all. You will start to take life more gently, feel a sense of lightness about life. And you start attracting higher vibrational people and outcomes. You start becoming a bliss magnet and find you are constantly manifesting positive, easygoing situations and synchronistic circumstances everywhere you go. Living in a state of bliss doesn't mean you give up feeding your children or going to work or just do it all from a place of acceptance and joy, freedom, deep inner peace. When we can remain connected with this blissful, relaxed state of being, feeling deeper into it for several minutes a day, we'll be able to build on it throughout this week. And soon find it is naturally happening through you for several hours and eventually all day long. Out of this bliss arises an exquisite inner calm which deepens the acceptance that you are a super powerful manifesting being who can create anything you want. Being yourself is being pure love. And that is what bliss is, pure love. There is no real love until you are that pure love from Maharishi. The enlightened state of bliss is easy to find, for it is our most natural and effortless way of being. There truly is nothing you need to do to experience it. Simply relax into the source of life that is flowing through you and is already here now. A lighter, joyful feeling will arise slowly, naturally, and soon take over your mind and body. When you can truly surrender to this experience, trusting fully in it, you discover the secret to tapping into a blissful energy wherever you are. The more we practice relaxing deeper into this pure life energy, the more we will discover a great stillness within it at the center. Here you will find there are no fears, no worries, no concerns about anything at all. There is just this bliss feeling of pure freedom from the world's drama and an eternal vacation from the frantic, hurried, worried, unsatisfied patterns in the mind. Can you think of anything more blissful than this? The benefits of making a close relationship with the bliss state are incalculable. For starters, you become a bright ball of happiness for everyone around you to enjoy. You are a walking demonstration that happiness is not reliant on external circumstances. People will feel lighter from just connecting with you along the way. You'll notice how others are spontaneously generous with you. Strangers feel attracted to you and love your company simply because you're vibrating at this higher frequency. And in time, we will see a whole new world of opportunities that will open its doors for us, and even material success will blow down and kiss your feet. Do not delude yourself by imagining your source to be some God outside you. Your source is within yourself. Give yourself up to it. That means that you should seek the source within and merge with it. Ramana Maharishi. There are a plethora of remarkable benefits that manifest from living at the bliss vibration. When was the last time you met somebody that was blissful? Or maybe when the last time you were blissful? There are a plethora of remarkable benefits that manifest from living at the bliss vibration. You cannot create a health problem, a financial issue, nor a cold, prickly relationship because your frequency just won't allow for it. When bliss is active in your body and alive in your heart, you'll be having too much fun creating heaven on earth and playing the role of an enlightened, joy-filled bridge. You'll be tapped into a source of infinite energy and find it super easy to manifest anything you want into your world. Just by touching the surface of bliss, this world will start giving you whatever your heart desires. It has a karmically reward. It has to karmically reward you because bliss is one of the most evolved experiences any of us can have. This universe is forever expanding, and it wants you to join in on this great expansion. It will continue feeding you more of what you desire, as long as your energy is sufficient to receive it. The higher energy you have, the more capable you are of taking in all that you can. If you're looking out there for bliss, some people do, they look out there, you won't find it. This enlightened state is not something you can purchase or trade anything for in this world. It's always free and always available right now. It is your natural birthright, and to access it, you simply become open, available, and willing to welcome every possible light and dark experience that could show up here now. Now, if you're someone who is skeptical about this state of bliss, or it's been so long that you have forgotten what bliss feels like, it's good to know that as babies, we each came into this world as a bubbling ball of bliss. Heck, 9 months prior to your birth, your first cells were forming out of an orgasm. What else should we expect from ourselves? Bliss is our very nature. It's our natural state of being. It is the foundation of our existence. It is the meeting place where our soul and human essence connect. It wasn't until our mind was conditioned to believe otherwise that this connection was lost. So, if you aren't feeling bliss every day, just know that this jubilant experience is buried underneath the busy preoccupations of your mind. When your mind gets quiet, calm, centered, and absorbed within the silent stillness at your core, you'll feel the bliss begin bubbling up again. It was always there since you were a baby, just waiting for you to slow down enough to rediscover it. It's vital that you realize your life is meant to be this fun, empowering, manifesting adventure. Everything we want to manifest in love, money, health, sex, and our intimate relationships can and will be ours one day. We have to choose to raise our vibration high enough to receive it. By exploring how to open this bliss valve within, you'll soon see your desires easily and effortlessly finding a way into your life. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in from the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. This universe is your playground. You can be whomever you choose to be. There are no rules on who you can or cannot be. So who do you want to be today? What thoughts and beliefs do you most want to have that will take your life in this new direction? Create an inner map for yourself, a guide that arrives at your ideal future state of mind. Start by exploring what thoughts you like to think about and write them down. What does your favorite teacher or master usually say? Think about or focus on. What will it feel like for others to be around you when you're in this new state of mind? Randomly ask yourself 17 times today, what am I thinking? Is this thought creating who I want to become? Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and following morning. We will return here November 3, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call, and at around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest, high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of the purest, purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you.